Here's what I need you to understand. Most folks will look at a single day and believe they can move mountains, but then they'll look at 6 months and have no idea just how far they can actually travel. 6 months. That's what I want us to talk about here today. How you can genuinely reshape your entire existence in the next 180 days. Now let me tell you why 6 months matters. A full year feels distant, doesn't it? Too far off to create that sense of urgency. And a single month? Well, that's barely enough time to plant seeds, let alone watch them grow. But 6 months, now that's where the magic lives. It's enough time to witness real transformation, yet short enough to keep that fire burning inside you. Isn't that something worth considering? You know what I find absolutely remarkable? People will invest more energy planning a 2-week getaway than they will designing the next chapter of their lives. They'll research restaurants and compare room rates for hours, but they won't give 30 minutes to sketching out their future. How does that make any sense? But I know you're cut from different cloth. You're sitting here right now because somewhere deep down you recognize that it's time. Time to make a move. Let me pose a question to you. If you keep walking the exact same path you're on today, doing the same things, making the same choices, where does that road lead you 6 months from now? Same position at work, same money in the bank, same challenges staring back at you, same reasons why you can't. Here's a truth you must face. What you don't change, you're actually choosing. Let that settle in for just a moment. The beauty of a 6-month plan is this. It creates what I like to call realistic urgency. You don't have the luxury of putting things off forever because 6 months arrives faster than you think. But you've also got sufficient time to build something meaningful, something lasting. It's the ideal balance between patience and pressure. Now let me share with you the core principles of genuine transformation. Success doesn't hide its methods. Over the years, I've come to realize that remarkable achievement isn't about juggling 4,000 different activities. It's about mastering 6 or 7 fundamental things and doing them 4,000 times. Repetition becomes the mother of all skill. Consistency becomes the father of all achievement. Let's discuss the first essential element of your 6-month transformation, clarity. You've got to know exactly what you're aiming for. Vague targets produce vague outcomes. Precise targets produce precise outcomes. Write this down somewhere, you'll see it. Clarity equals power. When you know precisely what you're after, life has a curious way of cooperating with your vision. Here's what fascinates me. Most people can tell you in great detail what they don't want. They'll talk all day about what's broken, what's frustrating them, what's not working in their career, their relationships, their finances. But turn that around and ask them what they actually do want, and suddenly they're searching for words. That's exactly why we must begin with absolute clarity. So here's my challenge to you tonight. Get yourself a piece of paper and describe in detail what you want your life to look like 6 months from this very moment. Be specific with your words. Don't write something general like, I want to feel better about my situation. Instead, write this. I want to increase my income by 40%, complete 12 meaningful books, improve my health by losing 20 pounds, and launch my own enterprise on the side. Do you see how different that feels? The second essential element of your transformation is what I call your personal philosophy. Your philosophy shapes how you interpret everything that comes your way. And here's the critical insight. It's not the events themselves that determine where you end up. It's how you respond to those events. It's not the wind that decides your destination. It's how you set your sail. Let me share something with you that carries real weight. Success isn't some mysterious force or magical occurrence. Success is simply what happens when you consistently apply fundamental principles over time. But here's where people stumble. The things that are easy to do are just as easy not to do. It's easy to read 10 pages of something valuable each day. It's equally easy to skip it. It's easy to set aside 10% of what you earn. It's equally easy to spend it all. That's the challenge we face. Now let's explore the third essential element, the power of association. Here's a principle that deserves your full attention. You become the average of the 5 individuals you spend the most time around. Write that down somewhere permanent. Over these next 6 months, you must be thoughtful about who gets your time and energy. Some people, you understand, need to be loved from a distance. Isn't that worth considering? You see, as you move forward, you'll encounter 2 distinct types of people. Those who lift your spirits and expand your thinking, and those who drain your energy and limit your vision. Your responsibility over the next 6 months is straightforward. Spend more time with those who inspire you, and less time with those who tire you. It's really that simple. Let me tell you something remarkable about human potential. Most people are operating at roughly 20% of what they're truly capable of. And do you know why? Because they haven't made a real commitment to excellence. They're just trying to survive the day instead of learning from the day. There's an enormous difference between those two approaches. The fourth essential element of your 6-month transformation is what I call the discipline of documentation. Starting right now, you must become a serious student of your own journey. Keep a journal, track where you're going, document what you're discovering. You see, even the smallest adjustment in your daily habits can dramatically reshape your life over 6 months. Let me give you something concrete to think about. If you simply read 10 pages of a worthwhile book each day, in 6 months, you'll have read 1,800 pages. That represents roughly 6 or 7 complete books. Now, do you believe your life would look different if you absorbed the wisdom from 7 carefully selected books over the next half year? Of course it would. Here's another principle that will serve you well for the rest of your life. Success is not something you chase down. Success is something you attract by becoming the right kind of person. Over the next 6 months, your primary focus needs to be on your own development. Work harder on yourself than you do on your job. The fifth essential element of your transformation is what I call the power of investment. Now, I'm not only talking about financial investment, though that matters. I'm talking about investing in your own growth and education. Here's the formula. Formal education will earn you a living. Self-education will earn you a fortune. Let me ask you something worth examining. How much have you invested in your own development over this past year? Most folks will drop $100 on a meal without a second thought, but they'll hesitate to spend that same $100 on a book or seminar that could reshape their entire future. Isn't that curious? Over the next 6 months, you must commit to investing in yourself. Whether that's books, programs, seminars, or working with someone who knows more than you do, make the investment. Remember this, if someone has already been where you want to go, they know something you don't know yet. Invest in learning what they know. The sixth essential element to your transformation is what I call the miracle of small steps taken consistently. Small adjustments applied consistently create enormous results over time. Let me show you how this actually works. If you improve yourself by just 1% each day for 6 months, you'll be 180% better than you are right now. That's the power of compound improvement working in your favor. Here's what I find absolutely fascinating. Most people sit around waiting to do something grand. They're waiting for that perfect moment to make some dramatic leap. But success doesn't function that way. Success is constructed from 1,000 small decisions made correctly, day after day, week after week, month after month. Let me share with you the seventh essential element, the power of setting meaningful goals. Now, I know you've heard plenty about goal setting already, but let me tell you something different. Most people set goals that are far too small. They set goals based on what they believe they can achieve rather than what they genuinely want. Over the next 6 months, I want you to set goals that make you a little uncomfortable. If your goals don't scare you even slightly, they're not big enough. But here's what matters most. Break those big goals down into daily actions. Success is never about what you do occasionally. It's always about what you do consistently. Now let's discuss something that most people completely overlook, the power of environment. Your surroundings will either inspire you or slowly drain the life out of you. Over the next 6 months, you must deliberately design your environment to support where you're headed. Clean up your workspace, organize your home, create a space that gives you energy when you walk into it. Here's a principle that changed everything for me. You can't change your destination overnight, but you can change your direction overnight. Tonight, right now, you can make decisions that will alter the entire course of your life. 6 months from now, you'll be grateful you did. Let me share something powerful with you. Success is never about resources. It's about resourcefulness. It's not about what you're missing. It's about what you do with what you already have in your possession. Over the next 6 months, focus on maximizing what's right there in your hands at this very moment. The eighth essential element to your transformation is what I call the power of standards. Your life will always move in the direction of your standards. If you raise your standards, your life will rise to meet them. If you lower your standards, your life will drop to match them. It's really that straightforward. Over the next 6 months, you must raise your standards in every area of your existence. Raise your standards for what you'll accept in your relationships, your health, your income, your work. When you raise your standards, your life transforms. Let me tell you something interesting about how we're wired as human beings. We tend to rise to the level of our expectations. If you expect little, you'll receive little. If you expect much, you'll receive much. Over the next 6 months, raise your expectations. Demand more from yourself than anyone else could ever demand from you. The ninth essential element to your transformation is what I call the power of rituals. Your life is shaped by what you do every single day. What you do daily matters far more than what you do occasionally. Over the next 6 months, you must establish rituals that support where you're trying to go. Here's a simple daily practice that can quietly reshape your entire life. Begin getting up just 1 hour earlier. Over 6 months, that gives you 180 extra hours. Now pause and reflect on that. 180 hours of focused effort is roughly the same as 4.5 full work weeks. Imagine what you could build, learn, or repair with that kind of intentional time. This is where discipline begins. Let me share something important about time. Don't just count the days, make the days count. Over the next 6 months, you must become a wise steward of your hours. Time is the great equalizer. Everyone gets the same 24. The difference in results comes from how those hours are traded, day after day. The 10th key to your transformation is what can be called the power of accountability. When you answer to someone else, your performance almost always improves. Over the next 6 months, seek out an accountability partner or become part of a serious group of like-minded people. Share your goals, report your progress, celebrate your advances. Human nature is interesting. We'll often work harder to avoid disappointing others than we will to avoid disappointing ourselves. Use that to your advantage. Make promises to others that call you to a higher standard. Now, we must talk about something crucial: the power of recovery. Over the next 6 months, you will face setbacks. That's not pessimism, that's life. The goal is not to live a life with no falls. The goal is to shorten the time between falling and rising. Successful people are not those who never fail. They are those who stand up one more time than they go down. The 11th key to your transformation is the power of focus. Here's what experience has taught. Where your focus goes, your energy flows. Over the next 6 months, you must become sharply focused on what truly matters. Don't major in minor things. Don't confuse being busy with being productive. Let me tell you something powerful. Motivation can help you start, but it is habit that will carry you to the finish. Over these months, concentrate on building habits that will serve you for a lifetime. Don't lean on motivation, lean on discipline. Motivation is like a warm bath. It feels good, but it doesn't last. The 12th key is the power of celebration. Most people wait until the final victory to celebrate, and that is a mistake. Over the next 6 months, acknowledge your progress, not just your final outcomes. Small celebrations create renewed energy. Recognition fuels determination. There's also a principle about success you must remember. Success leaves clues. Study those who are doing well, read their writings, listen to their teachings, attend their gatherings when you can. Over the next 6 months, become a sincere student of success. Learn from those who have already walked the path you want to travel. Let me share something profound about personal growth. For things to change, you must change. For things to become better, you must become better. For circumstances to improve, you must improve. Don't wish life were easier. Wish to become stronger. Don't wish for fewer problems. Wish for greater skills. The 13th key to your transformation is the power of contribution. Achievement without contribution feels empty in the end. Over the next 6 months, look for ways to add value to the lives of others. The more value you bring to the marketplace and to people, the more valuable you become. And here is an interesting observation about wealth. Your income seldom rises far above your level of personal development. If you want to earn more, you must learn more. Over these next 6 months, invest in your education, sharpen your skills, broaden your understanding, and steadily increase the value you bring to the world.